So hey, what up family? Welcome back to the channel. It's time for another Up Late with Phil and Up, where we discuss a plethora of different subjects and topics. And tonight we have a doozy. We're the appropriate green color because it's time to delve into more Microsoft, Xbox bullshit. But let's just read this tweet from Tom Warren, where it says, breaking news. Microsoft is laying off 1,900 Activision, Blizzard, and Xbox employees. The cuts affect around 8% of Microsoft's gaming division. Full details below. I'll have a link in the description so you can take a look at it yourself. It says, while Microsoft is primarily laying off roles at Activision and Blizzard, some Xbox and ZeniMax employees will also be impacted by the cuts. The cut work out to roughly 8% of overall Microsoft gaming division. That stands at around 22,000 employees in total. 22,000 people just lost their mother effing job. Way to go, Microsoft. Way to not be a piece of shit. You want to know what else is crazy? According to Daniel Hamed, that's 5,900 video game industry layoffs in 2024 so far. Nearly 60% of 2023's total, and we're not even at the end of January yet. You have got to be mother effing kidding me. Like, what is even going on in this industry? I have no words, man. Like, I do not recognize the gaming industry. What is this shit we are in now? Why is anybody surprised? I'm certainly not surprised. I could have told you this was going to happen. But let's continue reading this article. It's been little over 3 months since the Activision, Blizzard, and King teams joined Microsoft. So 3 months since this merger went through, and they wasted no time. They waited till the holiday season was over because they knew if they did it then, it would have been even more scummy than it is. But they literally wait till the new year and they say, Happy New Year, you're fired. Have fun, biatches. Go get another job. We don't give a shit about you. That's a fantastic way to usher in the new year. That's one hell of a New Year's resolution. That's all I got to say. The entertainment industry is just a mess. An absolute mess. This is not the same gaming space I grew up with in the 80s and 90s. And I don't recognize any of this. I honestly feel like I don't even belong in this space anymore. When I'm reading these tweets of these people that are desperate for a job, that are saying how devastated and heartbreaking they are, it breaks me. It breaks me because these people put their blood, sweat, and tears into these games. They're so talented and so amazing, and they go unnoticed. That's why I made podcasts where I spotlighted indie developers and their games, because it's important. You only get to know of the Kojimas of video games, but you don't get to know every person behind these games. They're just credits at the end of a game or a movie that you ignore completely. But they're real people that have lives, that have families that they have to feed. Imagine working at Activision and Blizzard for the last 5 years or longer of your life. You made friends there, you made connections, people that knew you, knew your family, and now all that is just stripped away from you. You thought, you were convinced that Microsoft was going to come in and make the company that you worked for better, to save it. And instead of being the hero, they're the villain of this story. That's the plot twist. I don't like to have to sit here and say, I told you so. I don't like to constantly have to blast this negative gaming bullshit on the channel. But I feel like if I don't, it's never going to be said. And these companies are going to just keep getting away with it. It drives me absolutely up the wall, because this hobby meant everything to me and my uncle. Everything. And to watch it literally crumble upon itself because of investors and companies like Microsoft that don't give a shit about gaming, shit about developers, shit about game preservation and game ownership. They don't care about any of it. In fact, they're the reason why, one of the primary reasons why, the game industry is literally crumbling and becoming nothing but a subscription service. Microsoft, I've said it before, came into this space because they wanted to disrupt Sony from getting into the PC side. They didn't want Sony messing with their industry. So they came in to disrupt the game industry. And sure, maybe the first Xbox and the 360, really good platforms to play on. They eased themselves in it. They made it seem like they were your friend. They were great for gaming, blah, blah, blah. But in the end, Microsoft always shows their true colors. And that's what came out with the Xbox One launch. Anybody remember the Xbox One launch? I sure do. Please tell me where all the people at that fought against Microsoft for all that egregious bullshit with the online check-in and not owning your games and all this and that. Where did all those people go? Because if you think Microsoft abandoned that strategy, they had a change of heart, they became the Grinch whose heart grew 3 sizes that day, you are dead wrong. They did not have a change of heart at all. They just took their shit decisions and they wrapped it in a new package and sold it to you as Game Pass. That's what it is. That's what it evolved into. Game Pass. And the more you buy into Game Pass, the more you destroy gaming. There's another article that says, reported by Dextero and shared by our good friends at Does It Play. I always love Does It Play because they tell it how it is. They don't sugarcoat shit just like me. This account said, Microsoft is reportedly laying off the entire physical game department at Xbox. The entire department. Bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye. Physical games. We already heard the reports that Walmart was skipping out on carrying physical games for Xbox. That they weren't going to do it anymore because they literally sat behind the shelves and nobody buys them. They can't get rid of them. And that's because Game Pass has made the Xbox ecosystem so complacent and reliant on it to where they don't want to buy physical games anymore. It's like how movies are now. You know how you go into a retail store, Walmart, Target, you see this big ass bin filled to the brim with DVDs and Blu-rays. They're anywhere from like $3 to $5 a movie, right? Nobody's buying them because they're like, oh, I could just watch this on Netflix. I don't need it. I got Amazon Prime. And what does that mean? That means physical movies are going to stop being carried at retail stores, like at Best Buy. They weren't lying when they said they were going to pull those movies off their storefronts. They literally did it. Now you can only do store pickup at certain Best Buy locations. But for most part, it's gone. Movie theaters, totally destroyed. We have seen the decline of movie theaters dry up. We are letting these companies sell us on not owning anything, entertainment-wise. You got ebooks. So maybe eventually physical books will just disappear. You got streaming services for movies, television shows, anime. Eventually, no more physical media there. And if you think video games aren't on the chopping block, well, Microsoft is here to tell you they're ready to take it away from you and you can't do shit because you paid for Game Pass. Microsoft's shit business decisions has literally affected the way Sony runs their company. We have seen Sony go from this Japanese company that was so passionate and dedicated like Nintendo, and because the console wars that started between Sony and Microsoft, that is eroded away, and they are a shell of their former selves. They're like a Sony Soft, a subsidiary of Microsoft. I've said that so many times, but it's so funny because it just rolls off the tongue, and it's so true. They really have become so much like Microsoft. And it's crazy because at the launch of the Xbox One, they were the company that was making fun of Microsoft and showing people how to share your game by literally handing it to someone else in that video. It was the best roast of E3 I have ever seen. And now, they can't talk any shit because they're just like Microsoft. They're choosing to make digitally based consoles. They're changing PS Plus and make it more reliant on it. You have to pay for it now. It's mandatory. And now we're seeing Nintendo slowly adopt that paid service too, by putting their retro games locked into some kind of digital license, but you don't ever own it. And we see that they don't really have any other way to give you these games, to preserve them. It's really, really dark and unfortunate times for gaming. And to all those people out there that say, well, physical games don't matter. They're not on the disc. It's just a key to give you access. Bullshit. Just because there's a patch and there's an installation and there's an update doesn't mean that physical game isn't functional. Doesn't play as reported on it so many times that that's not true. The only time that isn't true is when the companies that put out the physical do a half-assed job and only half of the game is on the damn disc, and then you have to download the rest. Or you just get a code in a box, because those are always so much fun. I want to circle back to Microsoft, get back on track here, because we went off on a tangent. I can do that. And account Stealth said, Nintendo. When Nintendo was at an extremely low point, Iwata said something we haven't really seen since. So, Iwata of Nintendo, may he rest in peace, said this: if we reduce the number of employees for better short-term financial results, employee morale will decrease. I sincerely doubt employees who fear that they may be laid off will be able to develop software titles that could impress people around the world. Iwata said that before his passing. This man, he knew. Like, he just knew. And if he was still alive today and he saw how the industry is, I think he would just roll around in his grave. I think he would be so disappointed and heartbroken to see how things are going. It's just I don't understand how heartless some of these companies can be. And I get trying to make a profit to make your investors happy, but if all you do is listen to investors, then you are going to alienate everyone else. If you keep your employees happy, you keep your consumers happy, then they'll continue to do the best job possible working for you, and consumers will continue to buy from you. If you alienate your consumers and you treat your employees like shit, what do you think is going to happen to you? You think people are going to just sit by and let that happen? Nah, it's going to be like medieval times. People are going to rise up with pitchforks, torches, and swords, and they're going to be like bravehearting your ass. Like, they're not going to sit idly by and let that happen. And with how big the internet is now, and you're already seeing all these tweets of people without their job and this and that, like, it's not going to be good for you. It's going to be a PR disaster. So tell me how laying off 2,000 people is really the smart decision here. You have these Xbox loyalist accounts going, well, it's a necessary sacrifice. Necessary sacrifice, huh? Well, what if you were on the chopping block? What if it was your job that was threatened? Your livelihood? Would it be a necessary sacrifice then? I'm pretty sure you'd be having a titty baby fit at that point. But no, it's fine, because you're one of those accounts that's made to stir shit up, to console war, to try to get people to not focus on what's really going on and just make things worse. I see so many of these accounts. I can't stand them. And they have such a huge following. 10,000, 20,000, 15,000, 7,000 followers. And I'm like, this is crazy. I swear these accounts are on that particular console's payroll. They have to be. Why would you be so loyal to a brand? There's no way they're just doing it because they love that brand so much. They have to be getting something out of it. And it's so messed up to see. There's nothing that you can convince me that this was a necessary sacrifice. When somebody's job is on the line, a job that they love to do, that they wake up every day happy to do, to work for that company, and then you just lay them off? No, I'm sorry, no. I am for the consumer. I am for the developers that work hard on making these games. I'm for the little guy, because it's the little guy that's literally working their ass off to make these games. It's the consumers who enjoy and play these games and have the right to keep playing that game years and years down the line. Your purchases shouldn't just be taken away from you because 5 years have passed and they want to delist it. It's bullshit. You paid for it. It should still be yours. But that's sadly not the world we live in anymore. And I don't know. I hope there's a silver lining to all this negativity within the gaming and entertainment space. I hope there's so much backlash that they have to take 5 steps back, like Microsoft did with the Xbox One, and they get a reality check and realize they can't get away with this bullshit, regardless of what their investors want. That they have to listen to the consumer and listen to the people that actually work for them. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. If everybody, all 2,000 plus people that were fired, if they actually knew Microsoft was going to lay them off, do you think they would have sat quietly and let it happen? No, they would have rose up and protested against this. Until this space can course correct itself, and I truly hope it does, the people that work on these games and entertainment get better treatment, better pay, better benefits, and the games themselves are treated with respect, and the gamers that enjoy them and play with them are treated with respect, then I'm going to take my wallet, I'm going to walk. I'm going to go find something else to do. Just because I love video games doesn't mean I'm a sucker. I don't have a big L on my forehead. You want my money, you got to do the right thing. It's not all about your investors. It's not all about the people at the top, because your company wouldn't be shit if it wasn't for the little guy that's busting their ass to make these games, and for the consumers that are buying them. So maybe think about that in your small pea-sized brain. That's all I have to say. I mean, I could ramble on more and more about this, but it really is a shame. And to everybody that lost their job over this, is affected by this, my heart goes out to you. I truly apologize. If you see me spam retweeting tweets of people that are out of a job, that are looking for a job in the game industry, I don't care if you get mad about that. I don't care if you think it's spam and I'm clogging up your timeline. Turn off notifications for me, whatever you have to do. Unfollow me if you want, because if my tweet can help somebody get a job after just losing their job, then I'm going to retweet it. I'm going to share it. I'm going to try to do the little bit that I can to help these people, because it's the right thing to do. Just because you don't know somebody online and just because they're behind a screen doesn't mean you stop showing compassion and stop being a human being to another human being. Because life can be hard sometimes. And these people are going through a hard time. So we as a community need to try to help them and support them. But that's all the time I have today. So thanks so much for watching. and catch you guys in the next late night with Phil Went Up. Happy gaming, happy collecting, and let's all support one another together. All right, bye everyone.
Game over now.